Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Thanks for being here tonight. As our show is presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And we want to say hello and thanks to our friends from Coca-Cola for being here as well. Let everybody hear you folks tonight. I think we've got a good crowd. Coach Kirby Smart is here. We've got questions from social media. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart is how you get them to us. The crowd has been fed, Coach. They're going to get free stuff tonight. So I think everybody's in a good mood, ready to go for Missouri this weekend.
Yep, I hope so. I hope we got a great crowd and a lot of great questions ready for, and hoping that we get to enjoy some of those. You know, I'm hoping we don't have any questions from Tyler and Spartanburg. I'm trying to avoid that.
I can promise you we don't have any questions from Tyler and Spartanburg on the list tonight. Which is a good thing. Coming off the Florida game, that was a good thing too, as well as the Bulldogs won their 8th of the year and defeated the Gators down in Jacksonville last week. Has it been a good week coming off of that victory for you?
Yeah, it's been good energy at practice. I mean, that game's over and done, so it's not like we've, talked about it or thought about it. We've moved on to a really good opponent, an opponent we really struggled with last year, and thought we had good Monday, Tuesday practices, and then today got after it as well. So really proud of the players' preparation thus far, but we got to go out and it's, the hay's still not in the barn. We got work to do tomorrow.
What do you have to do tomorrow?
What we always do: prepare more, walk through, watch tape, go over adjustments, what ifs, substitution scripts, lots of things.
We've got some cooler weather coming in too. Does that change anything about what you do or how you work or how you prepare?
No, I mean, it's actually cooler today, I think, than it will be Saturday. So our guys have been outside in the cooler weather, and I'm hoping that Saturday is a little warmer than it was today, so we'll be ready to go.
Be nice to be back home. We haven't been home in almost a month, so it's been a while, but it'll be good to see. Georgia's crowd goes wherever the Bulldogs go, so you see Georgia fans everywhere, but it'll certainly be nice to see about 85, 90,000 of them in Sanford Stadium on
It's
Saturday.
only nice to see them if they're really loud. So if they're the fun crowd, the laid-back crowd, I don't need the laid-back crowd. Send the people to your seats that are loud as hell, because we need it Saturday.
All right, you folks hear that? All right, that's the assignment for the weekend, and everybody listening. If you're coming to the game on Saturday, we need your noise. We need your throat to be in top condition for Georgia and Missouri on Saturday. It's a 3:40 official kick time for the Bulldogs and the Tigers, and since they've joined the league, Kirby, Georgia has done very well against this team. There have been some difficult games and some tight ones, but Georgia, for the most part, has been able to win those games.
Yeah, they got a great program. They've done a great job since joining the conference. They've got a good recruiting base. They've got a little bit different geographic area to recruit from, so they don't crisscross and go head-to-head with quite as many SEC schools, and it's shown in terms of being able to recruit their own state.
Yeah, St. Louis seems to be a hotbed for them as far as players are concerned. How much does Georgia go north like that in their recruiting?
We're going to go wherever they got good players at, so we're going to try to go recruit guys we think that can impact our program.
The Bulldogs and the Tigers meeting for only the 13th time on Saturday, so it's been a very short series. The first time was way back in 1960 in the Orange Bowl, and they didn't play again until Missouri came into the league in 2012. So that's kind of the setup of the series, and we'll be on the air with you at 11:30 Saturday morning to start our coverage of Bulldogs football here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. We'll get it started with Coach Smart here and your questions right after we pause for this timeout. Tonight's show, again, presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, and thanks to our friends from Coca-Cola for being here tonight as our audience here in Athens. We'll step aside for just a moment, come back for more with the coach right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome back, Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Thanks for being here tonight. Our program presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, and the questions we receive on social media, hashtag Ask Coach Smart, brought to you by Greenpoint Ag. Greenpoint Ag is farmer-owned and locally focused. And let's grab one of those from Tyler in Spartan. I'm just kidding. Jacob in Tifton, Georgia. Jacob in Tifton wants to know how pleased you are, Coach, with Carson Beck's progression as a leader this year.
I think he's done it in his own way, and I think that's really important. I don't think you can artificially lead. I think it has to be, your DNA, your makeup, your kind of your method of doing it, and in his own quiet way, he does a good job of that. He doesn't speak all the time, but when he speaks, I think people listen, and I think the skill players have a good relationship with him, and he's got a great relationship with Cedric Van Pran he came in with. So I've been very pleased with his leadership style.
Yeah, how important is that center quarterback relationship? Kind of like a catcher and a pitcher, I guess, in baseball.
That's right. I think it's
know each other's traits, and
that's right.
and all of
They've
that.
gotten close. I mean, they just trust each other, and they have to be on the same wavelength and the same thought process because of protections and things. They do a great job.
Jacob, thanks for your question. Let's see. Paul in Alpharetta, Georgia. Do you feel like our tight ends room stepped up and answered the bell in Brock's absence?
Well, I mean, we're trying to. They did a good job against Florida the one game, but that's not a judgment in one point in time. It's a continual process of like, okay, we did good that week. We got to continue to do well. We got to keep getting better and keep developing. And I've been very pleased with their work ethic. I can tell you that.
Oscar Delp really made a nice catch on the sideline over there in front of you guys last week. One of those one-handed grabs. We see a lot of those these days. That's a skill that's really been developed by a lot of pass catchers in football.
Yeah, that's a skill that's been developed by gloves. So you can attribute all those one-handed catches to glove makers because those guys that played in the 60s and 70s, they didn't have the exact same quality of glove to stick to them. So it's definitely helped the receiving standpoint.
Yeah, they outlawed all the sticky stuff that the substances that you could use, but then they just switch it to gloves and everything's fine and legal. Huh?
Yeah, the gloves help you a lot. I know that.
Mike in Decatur, Georgia. How sweet was it to get a blocked punt in Jacksonville?
Great. We worked really hard on that and took the off week and tried to really go through our players and find out who we thought gave us the best opportunity to block a punt. And one thing to get a guy free, it's another thing to have a guy that can actually block the punt. But Jonell did a great job on that play.
Can you tell us a little bit about him? He's one of the freshmen that's fighting for playing time, and he showed his ability on special teams, and really that's kind of where those guys have to start a lot of times, isn't it? On special teams to show what they can do.
Yeah, he's gained confidence in special teams. I mean, he's been a starter on our punt return unit, our kickoff unit. He's got great size and speed, and I think he's gotten better with each and every week and gained more confidence.
Georgia and Missouri this weekend in Athens. 3:40 is the official kick time. This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Our friends from Coca-Cola are here, and we got a question from our audience tonight. I can't read your name tag, so is it Cam?
Yes, sir.
Cam, welcome to the show, and fire away with your question for Coach.
All right, Coach. I was wondering, what is your favorite artist that some of the players listen to, like pregame in the locker room?
Wait, what's my favorite or
Yes,
what's
sir.
their favorite?
What's your favorite of theirs?
Well, we have a rule. I don't have to listen to what they listen to, and they don't have to listen to what I listen to because we all listen to our headphones. So out of respect for your teammate, he might not like the same music you do. So we tell him all the time, listen to whatever you want, do whatever you want, but we're not sharing our music because it can be a distraction for some guys. So I don't actually know what they listen to all the time. I know what some guys listen to, but I don't share in music interest with most of our guys, if that's what you're asking. The problem, I can't answer your question because I don't know what they listen to. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you what I like of what they listen to unless they listen to some like old rap or some like old country, George Strait. I mean, maybe something like that I'd enjoy. Thank you.
Cam, thanks a lot. Is that what you're listening to when you're getting ready, when you have the earbuds in?
No, I'm usually listening to something that can get me going that I listened to when I played. So it could be a lot of different things, but I'm not going to share it with you.
You're not? Stuff from the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, it was 80s, 90s, 2000s. I mean, it's all the way through there. Music genres change.
Well, you don't have to share it with me, but share it with the audience. I won't listen.
What? Like what kind of music I like?
Yeah.
I like all music. It's obvious. I like all genres of music.
Let's. I tell you what. We'll take a break and we'll come back. We'll have more questions from our audience tonight, and we've got more from hashtag Ask Coach Smart that you sent in on social media. That's brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, farmer owned and locally focused. And Wells Fargo is our presenting sponsor of this program tonight, Bulldogs Live, and official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll step aside for just a moment and come back for more with Coach Kirby Smart right after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome back, Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart and your questions. And a reminder that Georgia men's basketball opens its season Monday afternoon, November 6th, against the Oregon Ducks. That game being played in Las Vegas, Nevada, as part of the Naismith Hall of Fame series. Airtime Monday on the Bulldogs Sports Network will be 4:05 p.m., game time 4:30 Eastern. The Georgia home opener for men's basketball will be Friday, November 10th at Stegman Coliseum in Athens, as the Bulldogs will host Wake Forest at 7 o'clock. And a limited number of season tickets remain for the Bulldogs' 18-game home schedule. Also available right now, 3-game and 6-game flex plans. Tickets on sale now at georgiadogs.com/MBBTix, T-I-X, or by calling the UGA ticket office at 706-542-1231. Georgia basketball beginning on Monday afternoon out in Las Vegas. This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart, taking your questions on social media and with our audience here. Our friends from Coca-Cola are in the building tonight. Glad to have them in here. And let's take another question. Lynn, I see. Oh, there it is right there. Lynn is the next person up with a question for Coach. Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hey, Coach Kirby, my question is, what's the best life lesson you can teach your players?
Man, there's so many. Never, ever, 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 ever give up. Just don't quit on each other. Don't quit on your teammates. And I think so many of our guys come in with high expectations and high rankings. I mean, every kid we recruit is the best kid on this high school team. And then they come in here and they hit a roadblock, and I see it. I see them hit that, man, there's 85 guys here and only 22 start. And so you got 63, whatever it is, guys walking around that aren't starting. And to see them go through that and mature and just never, never, never give in and keep pushing, and you do that, you're going to be successful in life too. So, thanks.
Lynn, thank you for your question. We appreciate it. We'll get some more from our audience tonight, and we'll get one right now from social media, hashtag Ask Coach Smart. Those questions brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned, locally focused. Dan in Bogart, Georgia, wants to know, how do you slow the Missouri offense down?
Well, you have to affect the timing in the passing game. You've got to control the line of scrimmage. People don't understand how good they really are at running the ball. They have good backs. They have a very experienced offensive line. Their quarterback is elite at getting the ball out quickly, and they've got great wideouts. So you got to affect timing. You got to bat balls. You've got to knock the ball off their skill players. You can't give up yards after they catch the ball. And they're good at what they do. You got to play good in the red area.
Dan, thanks for your question. This is Roman from our audience with a question for Coach. Hi, Roman. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Coach Kirby, what are you looking for in a player that's wanting to play on your team?
Size and speed. And when you look at size, speed, if they're big and they're fast, it's the two first qualities that we struggle to be able to coach. I can't coach speed into you, and I can't coach size into you. After those two things, that's when you start saying, all right, I got to have high character. They got to be able to handle our academics here. They got to be willing to sacrifice of themselves for the team. And if we sign a bunch of guys that aren't willing to sacrifice for the team, then we're not going to be very good. But we start with size and speed.
Roman, thanks for your question. Thanks for being here tonight. Our friends from Coca-Cola here as our audience. Another question from social media, hashtag Ask Coach Smart. You can send those in anytime to us. Logan in Athens wants to know, Kirby, was Luther Burden someone that we really wanted in the recruiting cycle?
Yeah, we did. He's extremely talented. He's got running back ability and receiver skill set. He's thick lowers, great ability to go up and catch the ball. I mean, he's really about closed out 2 or 3 games for them where they were in the game was in the balance. It was hanging like they were going to decide the game on 2 or 3 plays, and he made the plays to help them against Kansas State. He made the plays to help them, whether it was South Carolina or Kentucky. He's really done a great job.
Have you seen in their previous games this season any other defenses be particularly effective against him?
Not really. I mean, he's been really good. And he's good because he's got a quarterback that allows him to be good. There's talented wideouts across the country that may not get a chance because they don't get to showcase their skill set. He gets to do that with Cooks as a quarterback.
Stephen in Birmingham, Alabama, has another question about last week. How proud are you of our performance in Jacksonville?
Well, I mean, take the scoreboard away. Everybody's happy about the scoreboard. That's the result. We try not to focus on results. We let everybody else focus on results. We focus on what it takes to do what we do, and our guys went out and put a really good week of work in so that they could have success in Jacksonville, and I was happy for the players that they got returned on that investment.
Another question from our audience. This is Justin. Hi, Justin. Welcome to the show. Go ahead with your question for Coach.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Justin?
Who is a hidden player on our team that we fans may not be aware of yet?
Well, that's always a tricky one because if they were hidden and good, then they shouldn't be hidden. You know, like bring them to light and let them play. But if you're saying who is a guy that's worked really hard and probably hasn't received the limelight as much, you know, the young receivers, Yazid and Anthony Evans are doing a great job. They work really hard every day. They haven't had the opportunity in a game because they got guys in front of them that are older and playing better. The other guy that's grown and gotten better is Bo on the offensive line. Damon Wilson's starting to produce some production at pass rushing, and he's done a really good job. Sam and Pimba and Gabe. There's several guys I think that in that freshman class are going to be really good players. We uniquely have not had a lot of the freshmen, I say contribute or start. Most years we have like 1 or 2 that do, but we haven't had that this year, and that's a credit to some of our depth. But a lot of those kids are going to be playing next year.
Justin, thanks for your question. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's take a timeout, and we'll come back for more of your questions for Coach Kirby Smart. This is Bulldogs Live. Hey, Dog fans, be sure to check out the G-Shop at GeorgiaDogs.com for exclusive releases of Nike Game Day official apparel, just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G-Shop today. All right, dog walk Saturday, 1:25. For the walk into the stadium for Georgia and Missouri. Kick time 3:40, air time here on the Bulldog Sports Network 11:30 a.m. Those are some of the particulars as we welcome you back to Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart, presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And tonight's hashtag Ask Coach Smart questions brought to you by Greenpoint Ag. Farmer-owned and locally focused. And our friends from Coca-Cola are here, and we've got a question from our audience. Danny, hi. Welcome to the show, and your question for Coach.
Oh, thank you. Hey, if you were not a football coach, what job do you think you would have?
I think I've had this question before, and I was like a pro golfer. If I could pick, do I have to be good enough, or can I just pick anything I want to do?
You have to be good enough.
Well, I'm not good enough to be a pro golfer then. That's out. I would be I really don't know. I think I'd be a youth travel baseball coach. That's what I think I want to take up and do that. I won't make any money, but I'll be happy, you know, and be on the baseball field, enjoying the kids and those kind of things. I don't know. I don't want a real job. I don't think I can hold down a real job. I can't take that. So I have to. I don't care how many hours I work. I just can't take a real job.
Danny, thanks for your question. Thanks for being here. What did you study in college?
Finance, and did Terry College of Business, and had to avoid English at all costs for my mother. She was an English teacher, and that wasn't the route I was going to go.
Finance didn't. I mean, coaching's always kind of been in your blood, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you played, and your dad was a coach, and
yeah, I don't think he ever wanted me to become a coach. I think he wanted me to be a finance, banking, investment, do something like that. And then it just never came about. When I got through playing, I got an opportunity, and I always thought that's kind of what I would end up doing, just doing something with sports and being around it. And kind of fell into it. It was like all I knew how to do.
Let's take a look ahead. Brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. And Missouri and Georgia this weekend. That's our look ahead. Tigers are good. Bulldogs are good. What are your thoughts in general for this matchup?
Well, it's going to be good entertainment for some fans, and hopefully more entertaining for our fans than theirs, because they got two good football teams, and we match up really well together. I think there'll be some exciting plays out there. They're a very dynamic offense. So are we. We got two aggressive defenses. Both defenses are multiple and not going to sit in one look. So there's going to be some scheme involved. There's going to be some adjustments within game. They do a really good job of attacking what you do, and so do we. So I'm excited. I think Eli does a great job, and it's the next opportunity for our guys.
Has last year's matchup, does that factor into your preparation for a year later, the same opponent, not necessarily the same players on the roster, but do you go back and look at the previous year's game a whole lot and
always
get some things out of that?
Always. I mean, you're going to look at it and see it. They're going to look at it and see it. You're going to look at the year before that here and the year before that there. I mean, when you match up against teams that are similar, you always go back and look and see what they're thinking, what you're thinking. You're just trying to be one step ahead.
Did you get any things that you could pull out that you can share with us from that game last year that maybe jump top of mind?
Not really. I mean, we did well in the red area to stop them, so they're going to try to expose that, because if they were better in the red area, we couldn't have come back and won the game. We shot ourselves in the foot on offense way too much. So you watch it and you try to make decisions based off of it, but in the back of your head, they're thinking the same thing.
Let's get a question from our audience. Our friends from Coca-Cola are here, and friends of Coca-Cola. This is Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Welcome to the show, and your question for Coach.
Thank you. I'm just curious, what do you do when you get to enjoy downtime with your family?
Just that. Enjoy the downtime. It's typically for us going to the lake, going to the beach. I like to play golf, and I don't get to enjoy that with my family, because nothing we do competitively will ever be enjoyable with our family, because people try to kill people over anything competitive. So the downtime is typically Saturday after the game, maybe Sunday morning, the first 2-3 hours when we get up, or before maybe they go to church. But that's the time that I enjoy and cherish the most. Probably Wednesday, because our schedule allows us, when practice ends around 6:30, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, I get to go home and see my family. And that time on Wednesday night is the time that I get to enjoy the most.
Aaron, thanks for your question. Thanks for being here tonight. Hashtag AskCoachSmart on social media is how you can get your questions to us. Those are brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned, locally focused, and Taylor in Peachtree City, Georgia, sends this one in. How big is it to get Missouri and Ole Miss at home?
It's great, except for you got to go on the road and play Auburn and other teams, so it's like you trade one for the other. But it's good that this year these two fell in this place. I think, coming off the Jacksonville basically road game, you get to come back to Athens, two more times before we take off and finish two on the road.
Yeah, two nationally ranked teams that come to our place and close out the home schedule for Georgia with Ole Miss next week. But Missouri's up first, and that's the concern of the Bulldogs this week. It'll be a 3:40 kick Saturday afternoon. Again, the dog walk at 1:25 in Athens on Saturday. We're looking forward to it. Come on back for more questions for Coach Kirby Smart. This is Bulldogs Live, presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And we'll have more of the show right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome back, Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Be sure to follow Georgia Bulldogs All Access on social media by searching at UGA_GBSM. Georgia Bulldogs Sports Marketing provides your inside connection to UGA athletics with exclusive updates and behind-the-scenes content, including the Kirby Smart All Access TV show. Follow at UGA_GBSM. And a reminder, the Georgia women's basketball season tips off its season Monday as well, just like the men. All the except the women are at home. They'll be at Stegman Coliseum Monday, November 6th, as the Lady Dogs host North Carolina A&T. That'll be a 7:00 game at Stegman. And if you are interested in tickets for either the men or the women, they're on sale now at georgiadogs.com, or you can call the ticket office 706-542-1231. Questions for Coach Smart come via social media, hashtag AskCoachSmart. That's brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned and locally focused, or from our audience. In this case, our friends from Coca-Cola are here tonight, and this is Drew. Hi, Drew. Welcome to the show, and go ahead with your question.
Thank you. How do you deal with negativity being at such a high level?
Well, you try not to deal with negativity. The best way to not deal with it is not listen to it. So it's negativity is always going to be there. It always has been. It's really just kind of we call them imposters. So people that are negative, I don't really enjoy being around them, and I try to focus on what I can control. And a lot of times the people that are the most negative, or the players or the coaches or anybody that's a part of it, they tend to just be energy vampires, and they drain people. So we try to look past it and look above it and rise above it and do the best job you can with what you got. And that's kind of what we focus on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Drew, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here tonight. Toby, hashtag AskCoachSmart. This question comes from that list. Toby in Loganville, do you pay attention to the rankings whatsoever?
Absolutely not. Because, once again, we have absolutely no control over what a group of people vote, think, say. We got no control over it. What we do control is how we play, and that's where we put our attention.
Let's see. Lee in Marietta, how would you rate our offensive line, defensive line play over the last several games?
Well, it's like everything. It's good and bad. There's good, there's bad. There's things that could be better. I'm very proud of the competitive nature with which both groups play. I think the offensive line's done a great job of protecting Carson, of getting the run game going. They've done some really good things. Could they do some things better? Absolutely. Do they need to? Absolutely. And then the defensive line the same way. They've been disruptive. We had the forced fumble. We had pressure, had sacks against Florida. But there's a lot of things we can do better.
Your offensive line has kind of been under duress because you've had some injuries there. You had to move guys from this position to that position where you cross-train, but it's good to see them come together as a good, solid unit throughout that adversity.
Yeah, that's great. It's great when you've got enough depth that you can move a guard to tackle and play. It's been tough, but it's one of those things that, you have to build up in camp, and it's why we spend so much time in camp working on it.
Let's get a question from Jimmy from our audience here. Our friends from Coca-Cola are here in Athens. Jimmy, thanks for being here tonight. Go ahead with your question.
Coach, just going to go back a couple of weeks. If Coach Bobo maybe put a play in where the center drops the ball, and picks it up, and gains yardage, positive yardage, and if he did, what would he call that play?
That'd be the Sid Ruski, because I think that was a very unique. It took me 15 seconds to figure out what the hell was going on. So I looked at the officials, and the officials were looking at each other like, did that just happen? I mean, I really think the officials had no clue what had gone on. They thought it was like a play by design. It's one of the strangest plays I've been a part of in a long time. Very strange.
Jimmy, thanks for your question. Yeah, when you're playing backyard football, you'd always say center sneak. Well, that was kind of the center sneak, or our version of it, I guess, accidentally, and it proved to be a positive play, Sid. And he wants a carry too. He wants a rush attempt, although I think it went down as a team rush, but he was fighting for it.
Well, he better never do it again.
Not too bad, I mean, maybe he could line up back there as in fullback in some of those goal line situations.
Thanks. I like him snapping it.
Let's see. Roy from Albany, Georgia, on hashtag AskCoachSmart. Is there anyone on this Missouri staff that you have previously worked with?
Not that I'm aware of. So I'm getting so dang old, and I work so many places that every now and then I'm at a game and somebody comes over to me and, that they were, maybe an intern or a student assistant or something. So nobody that I'm aware of that we overlap with that I can think of.
All right, Roy, thanks for your question. Let's grab another one from our audience. John, Hi, John. Welcome to the show. Go ahead with your question for Coach.
Thank you. Coach, has the clock rule change affected your play calling or offensive strategy at all?
It really hadn't. I haven't seen the numbers. I think we all looked at that really hard, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it just kind of disappeared, and nobody's really talked about it. So I don't know what the average number of plays are, up or down. I know drives per game are a little bit down, but it really hasn't affected the way we call the game. I think the score of the game dictates how you call the game, not the number of plays you get in the game.
John, thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Thanks to our friends from Coca-Cola for being here, and thanks to Wells Fargo for being our presenting sponsor of Bulldogs Live. They're an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And Greenpoint Ag takes care of our hashtag Ask Coach Smart social media questions. Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned, locally focused. One more segment with Coach Smart before we turn it over to the Bulldogs All-Stars here on the network. Thanks for being here tonight, Georgia fans. If you want to do an NIL deal with a dog, go to georgiadogs.com/NIL to connect with a student athlete on a sponsorship, a commercial, an appearance, an autograph session, and lots more. georgiadogs.com, the place to go to do that. We've been taking your questions from social media tonight. Hashtag AskCoachSmart, brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, and our program presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Josh in Hartwell, Georgia, Coach, says, during your playing days, if someone would have told you that Missouri would be in the SEC, what would have been your thoughts?
Who else? I mean,
yeah, they're coming, right?
Yeah, if I would have thought that Missouri would be in it, I would have thought, well, man, if we went that far, who else joined? Probably would have thought it would have been Texas and Oklahoma at that time.
Well, we've got, let's see, Arkansas and South Carolina were in before you started playing, right? Is that about the same time you arrived at Georgia? I think 92, maybe a little bit later.
Yeah. Obviously, South Carolina was in there. We played them all the time. So South Carolina and Arkansas joined the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's the time I arrived. Correct.
So then A&M and Missouri in 12, and then next year Texas and Oklahoma. So the landscape is changing. Mary in Gainesville, Georgia, has a question about the cooler temperatures affecting practice. Anything there that you can respond to?
They wear a little more clothes and all bundle up, and I make fun of them. But they they start warming up a little bit, and they don't tend to want to hit each other as much as it gets colder. It hurts a little more when you get a little sting when you get a little colder. So every now and then when we want to really pop pads, we go inside to get a little more pop.
I think we're almost out of time here, so that's a good thing for you. I know you're ready to get home and get a little rest before the weekend. Any final thoughts before we get out of here with Georgia and Missouri coming up?
Don't take it for granted, guys. And we need all the crowd support we can get. And they haven't really had. They had the road game at Kentucky, but we need people to be loud when they have the ball, really loud.
Kirby, thanks for your time. A lot of fun tonight. We appreciate it. We'll see you this weekend. Go Dogs.
Thank you. Go Dogs.